Imagine if Claude could read your Gmail, query your database, post to Slack, and edit files on your computer, not through copy-paste. Actually do it. That is not science fiction anymore. There is one tiny protocol that unlocks all of it. It is called MCP 97 million installs in 16 months, adopted by OpenAI, Google Anthropic, and Cursor. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use it. Let's go. So what actually is MCP? The name stands for Model Context Protocol. Anthropic built it, then they open sourced it, and then something unusual happened. Every major AI company adopted it in a matter of months. Think about that. OpenAI and Anthropic rarely agree on anything, but they both agreed on this. The best way to understand MCP is to think about USB. Before USB existed, every device needed its own cable. Keyboards, mice, printers, cameras. Each one had a different plug. Developers had to write a custom driver for every single one. It was a mess. Then USB showed up. One standard works with everything. Suddenly, any device could talk to any computer. That is what MCP does for AI. Before MCP, every AI app had to write custom code to connect to every tool. Want Claude to read your Google Drive? Custom integration. Want it to query Postgres? Another custom integration. Want it to post to Slack? Yet another one. Every team was solving the same problem, wasting thousands of hours. MCP fixes that. It is one standard. Any AI can plug into any tool that speaks it. Here's why this matters. Right now, there are over 5,000 MCP servers already built by the community. 5,000, all of them plug and play. There is one for Postgres, one for GitHub, one for Slack, one for Google Drive, one for your file system, one for Notion, one for Linear, one for browsers. You do not have to build any of it. Someone already did. Let me show you exactly what this looks like. Open the official site, modelcontextprotocol.io. This is the homepage. You see the spec, the docs, and a full explanation of how it works. It is not a marketing site. It is the actual protocol documentation, clean, simple, and completely open. Now scroll down to the server section. This is where it gets interesting. Every server listed here is a ready-made connector. Click on the GitHub one. You get a full description of what it can do, list repos, read files, create pull requests, comment on issues, merge branches. Claude can do all of that right now with one line of config. But the real magic happens on the registries. Go to smithery.ai. This is basically the app store for MCP. You search for a capability, you pick a server, you click install. Done. Claude suddenly has that new skill. Want to read your email? Search Gmail, install, done. Want it to control Figma? Same thing. Install once, works forever. Here's how you actually use one. Say you want Claude to interact with your GitHub. First, find the GitHub MCP server. On Smithery, it is right at the top. You copy the configuration snippet. It is usually about 5 lines of JSON. Then open your Claude desktop config file, paste the snippet inside the MCP server's object. Save, restart Claude. That is it. Claude now has GitHub superpowers. Next time you talk to Claude, you can say something like, list my top 5 repos and tell me which one has the most open issues. Claude will actually go query GitHub, get real data, and give you a real answer. No hallucination, no guessing, real numbers from your real account. That is the power of MCP in under a minute. Now, let me show you the kinds of servers that exist right now. There's the file system server. Claude can read and edit any file on your machine. There's the database server. Claude can run SQL queries, analyze your data, and summarize it. There is the web search server. Claude can browse the live internet to answer questions. There is the Puppeteer server. Claude can literally control a Chrome browser for you. There is a Slack server. Claude can read messages, send replies, and manage channels. The list keeps growing every week. You might be thinking, okay, but can I build my own? Yes, and it is easier than you expect. An MCP server is just a small program. You write a few functions, you describe what they do, you expose them through the protocol. The official SDK handles everything else. Connection, authentication tool definitions. You just focus on the logic. There are SDKs for Python, TypeScript, Go, Rust, and more. You can write your first server in under 50 lines of code. And once it works with Claude, it works with every other AI that supports MCP. Write once, run everywhere. This is what makes MCP different from every other integration standard. It is not locked to one platform. It is a real open protocol. Let me give you a real example. Imagine you run a small business. You have a database of orders. You want Claude to help with customer support. Without MCP, you would have to write a full integration API calls, error handling, auth testing, hours of work. With MCP, you wrap your existing order lookup function in about 30 lines of code. Now, Claude can look up any order, check status, and respond to customers, all with real data from your real database. This same pattern works for anything: internal tools, data pipelines, CRMs, analytics, dashboards. If you can write a function, you can expose it to Claude, and once it is exposed, any AI that speaks MCP can use it. Cursor, ChatGPT with MCP support, Claude Code, and dozens of others. Here is what most people miss. MCP is not just about one task, it is about composition. You can plug in multiple servers at once, give Claude access to GitHub, Postgres, and Slack all together. Now you can ask things like, find all bugs reported in Slack this week, check which ones match issues in GitHub, and show me which parts of the database they touch. That is one prompt, Claude does the rest, because all three tools speak the same protocol. That is the real shift. Before MCP AI tools were isolated chatbots, they could talk but not act. With MCP, they become connected agents. They can see data, take actions, and change the real world. Same intelligence, suddenly with hands and eyes. So here's exactly what to do next. First, bookmark modelcontextprotocol.io. That is the source of truth for the spec and the official docs. Second, go to smithery.ai. Browse the servers, pick 3 you actually care about, install them into Claude Desktop. Third, if you're a developer, clone the official server's repo on GitHub. Read one server's source. It is the fastest way to understand the protocol. The reason MCP matters is simple. It is the first standard that works across every major AI system. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and the open source community all speak it. That means whatever you build with MCP today will keep working as models get better. You're not betting on one company. You're betting on an open protocol. If this video helped you, subscribe so you do not miss the next one. I make one tutorial every week breaking down the biggest shifts in AI into simple, actionable guides, and share this with a friend who keeps hearing about AI but still has not used it for anything real. MCP is the missing piece. Thanks for watching. Now go build something.